This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, welcome everyone. Shalom Aleichem. We continue in the Iggeres HaGra. We are sort of inching our way toward the end here, and we're pretty close. The Gra just got through a passage on what we call Derech Eretz, the importance of learning Masechta Derech Eretz, Avos Rab Nasan, Masechta Avos, and then speaking about Kibud Aim, the tender way he speaks to his mother. He tells his mother she doesn't need his musar because she's a tznuah, but he says, have this letter read to you. These are very important words, and I beg you not to worry about me, and if I make it to you shalayim, I will pray for you. The Gra sort of concludes his letter. He says, V'gam basi levakesh l'ishtei. I also come to beseech my wife, shetichbar es imi. She should honor my mother, kamash kasav b'Torah, as it says in the Torah. The Rav Goldberg points out. From here we learn the obligation on a daughter-in-law to honor her mother-in-law is midaraisa. Regarding whether a person is obligated to honor their father-in-law, there's a shaila if it's d'Rabbanan or d'Oraisa, but for a daughter-in-law to honor her father-in-law, to honor her mother-in-law, apparently it's d'Oraisa. And Rav Goldberg says perhaps it emanates from, since a wife has to honor her husband, mid'oraisa, she would likewise have an obligation to honor her father, her husband's father. Okay, and uvifrat la'almana, you have to honor my mother. Aside from the fact that a mother-in-law is a chi of kibud da'iraisa, she's an almana, especially she's an almana sha'avain plili ma'oid. It is a wondrous, terrible sin, litzara, to pain her, afilu b'tnua kala, even with a small movement. So one has to be extra sensitive to one's mother. V'gam le'imi, also to my mother. Bikashti ayashe shalom ben shnechem. Please get along with your daughter-in-law. V'isha esruusa tesameach b'dvarim tovim. And each woman should make the other rejoice with happy and kind words. Kizeh mitzvah gedola l'chol adam. This is a great mitzvah on every person to make their friend rejoice. The story is quoted by the Nasi Vaisar of Rabbi Peterburg, that he says over about Rabbi Yisrael Salanter, that one time Rabbi Yisrael was conversing with one of his relatives about seemingly idle chatter in a very friendly, jovial way. So one of the students got the nerve to ask the Rabbi, isn't it Bittul Torah, Dvarim B'Telim? And Rabbi Yisrael said, this person is depressed, this person is downtrodden, and it's a big chesed to rejoice and to make this person happy. So how am I going to make this person happy? By speaking about Inyana Yira and Musar? Of course not. By speaking about Inyana Da'alma. In fact, I once heard from an Adam Chashuv. I was once walking with an Adam Chashuv, and he met someone and he started to talk to them about sports. And when the conversation was over and he walked away, he told me that this person, Nebuch, is down, and he's not really interested in anything but sports, and he spoke to him about it because it's a chesed. This is what the person. This is what makes the person happy. Then the Gra drops the bombshell. V'shoyalin la'adam b'shas hadin. They ask a person after 120, Himlachta es chavercha. Did you make your friend king? Benachas ruach, in a pleasant way. So where does this come from? I remember this is quoted in the Sefer Reishis Chachma, and Rav Goldberg brings from the Masechta Chibur HaKever that after 120 they ask a person. One of the things they ask a person is, not did you honor your friend, not did you not insult your friend, did you make your friend king? The Reishis Chachma Sharayir Perek Yud Beis says that after 120 they ask a person, did you make God king by saying Shema in the morning and evening? And did you make your friend king benachas ruach? Meaning, One is required to sort of be mamlich their friend and be mizbatel themselves before them, before their Ratzain. Okay. Benachas ruach. By the way, Rav Goldberg cites a story about Rav Shach. This is brought in the Sefer Penine Rabbeinu Avio Ezri, that when somebody would come to Rav Shach for a question, for an eitzah, for anything, and the questioner, if the petitioner was standing, Rav Shach would stand. So they asked Rav Shach, why are you standing when the person comes to you? So Rav Shach says that after 120 they ask you, Bebezin Shamala, Himlachtas Chavercha, did you make your friend king? Says Rav Shach, I want to be able to answer in a concrete way how I made my friend king, and therefore I fulfill that by standing up for any petitioner. And Haresh Tzarch Sheyam Lichel Ben Achas, you have to coronate your friend gently. Ubazeh Roiv HaTorah L'Sameach L'Adam. And with this, the majority of the Torah is to make a person rejoice. Now, some want to be goyres. It is an obligation of the Torah to make your friend rejoice. In Rabbi Cheskel Sarna's edition of the Iggeres HaGra, that is his gersa. But in the gersa of Rabbi Yosef Zundel of Salant, the gersa says, as we have it, the majority of the Torah is to make your friend rejoice. As Gemara says in Shabbos, that when they asked Hillel the Ger asked Hillel to teach him the Torah standing on one foot, Hillel responded that don't do to your friend what you want to be done to you, which implies that the majority of the Torah indeed is dependent on Ben Adam Lachaveroi. But it's not enough to be mamlich your friend and to try to fulfill your friend's will, but you're supposed to do it in a pleasant countenance. So the Nesivai Sar, again, Rabbi Yitzchak Blazer brings the avoida to be mamlich your friend benachas and to show him a happy face is very difficult, especially if a person has something that they're worried about. And especially sometimes during the Yom Naram, somebody might be immersed in Yeresh Hashem and full of pachad and charada, and person might be immersed in the fear of God, and somebody comes over to them, and you sort of don't give them the time of day because you're so immersed in your personal awe and reverence of Hashem. That's improper. One has to make sure that even if a person is immersed in their own Yeresh Shamayim, nevertheless, when it comes to somebody else, one has to offer them a friendly and happy countenance. Okay, we're going to go for the end. Even if one of you act improperly. By the way, you know the famous Gemara in Tainis on the Avchav Beis, Rav Broika Chayza used to hang out in the marketplace of Bei Left, and Eliyahu Hanavi used to frequent him. So he asked Eliyahu Hanavi, are there people here who are Bnei Olam Haba? And Eliyahu said, yes. So Eliyahu said, over here. So Rav Broika Chayza asked him, no, what do you do for a living? He says, we're jokesters. We gladden people's heart. And that alone earned them a ticket to Olam Haba. Says the Gra to his mother and wife, again, even if one of you act improperly, timchalu zelazeh, forgive each other, v'tiyu l'man Hashem b'shalom, for the sake of God, please be at peace with each other. V'chein li'imi, so too to my mother, bikashti, I request, shetadrich esbanei v'noisai b'dvar mrakim she'yikablam, she should guide my children in soft, gentle words so they should be accepted. V'tashgiach aleim, please supervise them. V'levanayin, to my sons, v'levnoisai, to my daughters. Ani mitzaveh, I command you, she'yichabdu oisa, please honor my mother. V'gam beineim lo yishmariv, there should be no bickering and fighting among you. V'kas or anger, klal ela hakol b'shalom, everything should be with peace. Ubal hashalom, the master of peace, yitain lochem, should give you, v'levanayin, to my sons, v'levnoisai, and to my daughters, v'chasanai, my sons-in-law, v'achai, and my brothers, v'chol Yisrael, may the Lord bless all of you with chayim v'shalom, with life and peace. This comes, says the Gra, mini ahuvchem, from me who loves you, Eliyahu ben Marina Rav Shlomo Zalman, zecher tzag levracha l'chaye ha'olam haba. Okay, so that concludes the Iggeres HaGra. What we're going to do is This coming Monday and Tuesday, there will not be Iggeres HaGra shir. Wednesday, we'll try to review some of the main points of the Sefer, and we'll discuss what we're going to do next. My Rabbi, have a wonderful evening. Tonight, at 7:45 on TorahAnytime.com live is a special Tu B'Shvat shir. At 8:30 is the regular Wednesday night shir. Stay tuned for what you could see over the weekend, and we'll pick it up here with Iggeres HaGra Wednesday. There'll be shir Tuesday night in Daf HaShavua, Wednesday morning also, 10:30. Wishing everyone a wonderful evening. Seis Chon L'Shem. Kol Tov.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.